Why Guardian Tales is the best gacha game? For me, well, it's because I feel Guardian Tales isn't like other gacha games, which, in my opinion, focus too much on acquiring characters rather than on gameplay that challenges your gaming skill. Besides that, I enjoy the story and I like the art style too. So overall, this game feels the most suited to me. However, after 4 years of playing this game, I feel like it hasn't given the players its peak performance, either in its gameplay or in its story. I feel like most of the content this game has provided still doesn't satisfy me, and maybe some other players too. The best content this game has provided, in my opinion, is Expedition. It has great gameplay, a great story, and is very challenging, yet not impossible to beat. I once played this content for 6 hours straight just to get full score in all stages, due to its high difficulty.
What? Isn't that tiring?
No, it's not tiring because it's fun. Also, after getting the full score, I received valuable rewards and some lore, which made my effort worth it. Unfortunately, this content is no longer updated, and the content released afterward hasn't satisfied me as much. That's why in this video, I want to share with you guys the content concepts I have in mind that I think would be good for Guardian Tales. First content concept, Canterbury Story. I'm not exactly sure what to name it, but I already explained it in my previous video. The sole purpose of this content is to reduce the dead weeks in Guardian Tales, so players can stay engaged while waiting for big updates. If you're wondering what this content is like, here's a basic rundown. It includes at least 6 stages, plus an extra final boss stage. Every time we enter a stage, we get a cut scene that reveals part of the story. There's also a hidden stage if we choose a certain option, along with a simple drawing that depicts a specific event from story. And that's it for the first concept. If you want to see the preview of this content, you can click on this video and go to minute 51:38. Alright, second content concept. This one is not a new or fresh content. I'm just asking for the goddamn raid system to be changed. Why? Because in my opinion, it has many shortcomings. Allow me to point them out. 1. The content really relies on your guildmates. This one is, I think, the most annoying part of this content. Let me give you the illustration of this problem. So you and your guildmates have to attack 3 times in this content, right? But the thing is, there is a boss that some guildmates don't want to attack. For example, the boss that has big ailment resistance has unpopular element weakness, and its attack is kind of annoying. When we encounter a boss like that, of course most of us avoid attacking it, right? So, most attacks are used on other bosses. After the rest of the bosses are defeated, you or your guildmate with 3 attacks remaining have to wait for someone to attack that one boss and reset the raid. But who is going to be that someone?
Nobody!
Therefore, you or your guildmate end up wasting 3 attacks trying to reset the boss. And even if there is someone willing to attack, we still don't know when they'll do it. Shortcoming number 2, the unfair rewards. Check out this conversation.
Phew! Thank goodness we're in top 200 guild raid. This is our best achievement so far.
Yeah, if it weren't for our sweat and hard work, our guild wouldn't have reached this rank and get this reward.
Ho ho, that's true.
You get the point, right? The point is that the rewards aren't distributed based on individual efforts and results. This makes players who deal low damage feel like burdens to those who deal high damage. Third shortcoming, it doesn't utilize heroes' ability or their full potential. As we know, heroes in Guardian Tales don't just have great DPS or damage buff abilities, and their attacks aren't limited to single targets. Some heroes have great defense, others have excellent healing, and some possess powerful AoE attacks. However, in this content, the focus is only on 2 aspects: high DPS with single target and damage buff abilities. This causes many heroes in Guardian Tales to miss their chance to shine. Now, with all those shortcomings being said, this is the new raid I made in my imagination, a fan made to clear up all those shortcomings. First change. In the new raid system, we only have one boss each day. The boss changes along with its elements daily and is personalized for each player. So the bosses are only for individual players, not shared with other members of the guild. By doing this change, the raid content no longer needs to rely on our guildmates.
I can attack whenever I want.
Nice idea. But what about the rewards?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Second change. The rewards in this new system are divided into two categories, one based on personal ranking and the other based on guild ranking. The rewards distribution ratio varies depending on the choice of most players. If the game implement this, I think it would fix the second shortcoming. Okay, third change. This one could be considered an addition rather than a change. I want new bosses that have new kind of attack added to this content to address the third shortcoming I mentioned earlier. For example, I want a boss that could summon 5 enemies, whose HP is still connected to the main boss. This boss is good for AoE attack heroes, and another boss that could drain your HP until there's barely any left. This one is good for heroes who can heal. With these new bosses, most heroes, both before and after updates, could fully use their various abilities to maximize your damage in raid. This third change is, I think, the most important, because I feel like most heroes that get released often get forgotten quickly due to their relevance only lasting for a short time. Take a look at Saya. She has unique AoE attack, but unfortunately, all the bosses are single target, so her uniqueness is kind of pointless. It's such a waste of potential in my opinion. Alright guys, that's it for the new raid system I came up with for my brain. Coming up next, we have the last concept, co-op story. Oh god, when I'm thinking about this content, my hands are trembling and my heart is beating fast, because this content is so peak. But I'm pretty sure this content would be difficult to create due to potential technical issue and the time required to develop it. However, it would be amazing if this content actually existed. So here's how this content is going to look like. In the opening, we're introduced to a story that explains the event and outlines the tasks we need to accomplish. After the story cutscene finish, you and the boys can jump into the stage and clear the tasks together. This is where it differs from co-op expedition. The stages in this content focus more on quests rather than fighting enemies. For example, you'll uncover mysteries by solving puzzles and dive deeper into the event lore by completing tasks. Once the quest is completed, you and the boys move on to the next stage and repeat the process until we reach the final stage, where a big boss awaits us. After you defeat the boss, the event is cleared. Pretty cool, right? I'd love to give you the preview of this content, but I don't want to make this video any longer, and also I'm too lazy to do that. So let's just wrap things up here. Okay, there you have it guys, all the content concepts I came up with. We have Canterbury story, new raid system, and lastly co-op story. When Guardian Tales is able to create these contents, I believe that's when the game will have reached its peak. But keep in mind, these concepts all came from a mere player. A fan-made content concepts